Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I hope all is doing well. Thank you so much for joining our live spaces number three. And if you don't know, we have a special guest for y'all. But before we have him on, we also have another special guest, which I'm trying to think. I don't know if he's actually been on this live streams before. You all know him. I'll definitely bring him up. But again, for those who are joining the very first spaces, my name is Vendo Calendar, CEO of Product Pie Labs, which is the parent company of Liquid Agents. My background is computer science, and today we are going to have a banger stream. So, I know my man is cooking super hard, so I'm going to go ahead and bring him up first. He can give an introduction, give you guys some alpha and demo, and then we will get on with our stream. So, for no further ado, I would like to introduce to you the one, the only Maestro. What's up, bro? How you doing?
Yo, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, man, we can hear you, man. So, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is your very first stream that you've been on the Liquid Agent. So, go ahead and take it away, man.
Yeah, yeah. Now that I think about it, it's kind of crazy. I guess this is the first one. Hello everyone. My name is Christopher Powell. I go by either Lefty Chris on Twitter, or you can call me the Maestro. I'm the CTO of Liquid Agent and Project Pi Labs. I've been building, basically going crazy with a lot of the functionalities and basically the beta as of right now. The people that's in the beta, they've been using it, getting an understanding of how the system works. I've been, you know, getting things ready to go for the public release that is going to be happening pretty soon. And I'm loving how Liquid Agent is turning out. Essentially, Liquid Agent is, how can I put it? It meets blockchain, or AI meets blockchain for sure. Short, sweet, and simple. You know, Liquid Agent has evolved from what used to be um, a tool that Van and I used to have, where we made our lives easier by just automating a lot of the things that we were doing with our liquid staking protocol that we created. And so we've taken that tool and we have basically made it into a product. Now, right now, everyone's looking into or kind of speculating about, like, let's say the liquid price and liquid in itself. Um, I think that the token in itself is going to have some amazing use cases. Well, I'm creating some amazing use cases. I actually am going to show a quick demo of basically what I've been cooking up. Um, so the our background, just kind of like giving a quick story. Van and I's background, we actually started with creating a validator system. So if you're not familiar with validators, they're typically used with proof of stake blockchains. Um, I like to tell people it's like mining is proof of work, validators are proof of stake. You're not mining blocks, you're forging blocks with proof of stake. But essentially, all you're doing is you're making sure that the transactions are running properly, and then you're getting rewarded with these proof of stake blockchains. We created a system where people are able to validate on our system using our infrastructure, because ultimately that's what we came up from. Van and I started both basically as back end developers and then worked our way from there. Um, but it had me thinking of when we first launched Liquid. Everyone's like, well, what, you all had this product on one chain, you launched this token on another chain, you have uh, connections with Coinbase on Base. Well, why not Base? Why not this, that? And Van and I's whole our whole mantra, like our whole thing is that at the end of the day, all these systems are going to be connected. I believe that AI is going to do a very good job with that. I love Van's analogy that he says all the time. The average person don't know where what pipes they're using when they get hot and cold water. And when you think about it, like even myself, like someone that is very technical, um, I don't think too much is where the hot and cold water is coming from. I just want hot and cold water when I need it. And I think AI is going to help with that. I think that there's going to be, AI that basically help with the system. So when it comes to sourcing yield, and so I essentially have created basically a system or a network where people are actually they're eventually going to be able to earn yield, and ultimately it would not matter where the yield comes from. It'll be that whatever yield you get, it will be converted into a stable coin anyway, and then you'll be able to get it. So I named this system the Liquid Validator Network. And I have a quick demo that I'm going to show. And it's going to be essentially in two phases. Let's see if I can actually share my screen. 1 second. I should be able to share it. Let's see, entire screen. Okay. So should be able to see it. Can you see it?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. So right here is what is actually in Liquid Agent right now in the beta. And essentially it's the Insight Center. So you have the choice of going and looking at ETH or Liquid. There will be more eventually once we go public with this, and there'll be more chains where you can analyze and get some insights and sentiment on these chains, as well as being able to analyze your wallet to know exactly when you've sold and bought with an agentic system in the background, evaluating the process. Right now, currently, it's in Liquid on the beta. There have been people to try it out right now. But let me play the video real quick. So, of course, I have to show the light and dark mode. And then we go to staking. And this is the Liquid Validator Network. Essentially, it's going to be, I'm still working out everything. This is the demo, but it's going to be in two phases. You have phase one, which is going to be a program. Founders program, essentially, how I see it is anyone that wants to get in to our system, you have the ability to get in, and you have the ability to one, not only receive Liquid, but you're also going to be receiving a yield multiplier that is lifetime. So essentially, in this beta, it's 1.1x multiplier, but the yield that you receive is always going to be that way. In the beta, or not beta, in this demo, it shows 10, but there's going to be more. There's going to be a few batches. So it's a batch system for phase one. And then for phase two, that's when the real fun happens. That's when essentially you're going to need Liquid to be able to participate in this network. So from there, you're always free to, trade and speculate on Liquid. But at the end of the day, it's about being able to have some of these use cases actually realized with the token. And all of this is going to be a flywheel effect where the token is essentially going to be burning in the process. still working out the system, but ultimately I see it as a way for where the token is going to be continuously burned. Um, and again, anyone that wants to get into the system, they'll be able to get into it, but you will need liquid to do so. Um, but that's for phase two. Phase one is essentially being able to get into the system early and being able to take advantage of the yield multiplier that will be lifetime. Um, how I'm seeing it is probably going to be between 40 or 50 um, licenses per batch, and probably 3 batches in total. So at the most, there will be only 150 people to be able to take advantage of this. Um, but yeah, I'll uh, keep going and go from there.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Chris, for that introduction at Alpha. I know you have a lot of stuff cooking and whatnot, but again, thank you for your time and for giving the community the alpha of what's to come in the future. But yeah, man, super excited. So without further ado, I think everyone's been waiting for this guy. He is amazing. You know, when I first met him at the Atlanta Blockchain Center, when he flew down with the SoonPay team, I had met him. We had talked on Zoom calls and virtual, but never met him in person. And when I met this individual in person, I was flabbergasted, least to say. But without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce Fuji. Fuji, how are you, man? Are you able to turn on the camera? If you are talking, Fuji, your mic is muted, by the way. All right. Well, while we wait for Fuji to come on, and Fuji, just go ahead and keep messing with the mic. You go ahead and start talking, and whenever you do, I'll go ahead and let you take care of it. But while Fuji gets acclimated with the unfortunate technical difficulties, I will go ahead and update the community on what has been happening since we last had our last spaces. So for those who were not in our last spaces, we had Richard Kimsey, the former VP of Sprint, and we had talked about a multitude of things. We talked about stablecoins. We talked about AI. We talked about liquidation, of course. We talked about remittance. And also we talked about an event that we went to, right? The Ugandan event where we went to last week. And that is what Fuji and myself are going to be discussing. Likewise with things that have been progressing with not only with Liquid Agent, but with SoonPay and that partnership integration of what's to come. So why did we go to this event? What was the purpose of it? And was it successful? So again, guys, we have to talk about the importance of what Liquid Agent is trying to accomplish and trying to do. We are trying to, no, we're not trying to, we are going to be onboarding hundreds of millions in people in outside, excuse me, of the United States, right? Why are we doing this? For a multitude of reasons. We're solving a big issue that has not been solved yet, which is 3 things. 1, banking the unbanked. Currently, right now, there are hundreds of millions of people who are still utilizing the traditional way, not only the traditional way, physically going to the bank and getting cash. When I was explaining the digital industry that we're transitioning to people that I know and love, I had to break it down to them. You went from utilizing checks to cash to debit and credit to tap to pay, and now we're going to crypto. With what we're doing, we're going to be onboarding hundreds of millions of people who may or may not have a bank account. And if they do, they're getting money sent abroad from here in the States over to, let's just say, Africa, Uganda for this use case, right? You have to not only get the cash, When it's transmitted overseas, international, here in the States to Africa, there's a fiat cost to it. And not only that, they don't have all the capital or cash on hand. So when the user is actually going to this bank, by the time it's their turn, they might not have cash, which that's not good. People talk about mass adoption. How will mass adoption works? In my humble personal opinion, I believe mass adoption will work once there's education, but two, once the entire world or a high percentage of the world is actually onboarded into crypto. And that is what Liquid Agent is solving. You're going to have a money remittance app called SoonPay, very similar to what we all know and love here in the United States, like a Cash App or a Venmo. When you download this app, you're going to onboard, do your KYC, and be able to do it. But hold on, Fuji just says, yeah, no worries, Fuji. It's all good, bro. So with that in case, right, you're going to be able to onboard hundreds of millions of people who already have a bank account utilizing this in order to onboard into crypto. When they click that crypto button, what is going to happen? I would say two important things are going to happen. One, they're going to be educated. We want to educate the users. And most people will be like, well, what's the difference between not only what Liquid Agent is doing as a protocol or a project? Why are you partnering with someone in the traditional world? Well, a lot of these money remittance platforms, they're great, they're user-friendly, it's convenient, but there's one issue. No, there's multiple issues. I would say the first issue is lack of education. The second issue is the amount of fees associated. And three, they're just consumers. We don't want our community and users just to be consumers. We want them to be producers. And what Chris showed earlier was a slither of what's to come in the future, right? When you talk about and hear blockchain technology, most people automatically go to crypto, which is great. That's the financial side, but you're just a consumer. Project Pi Labs is an infrastructure company. Our mission is not just to educate, but to decentralize as many blockchains as possible. As time progresses, and as Chris alluded to, it's going to be interoperable. All these chains are going to be talking to each other. Likewise, in the financial space, when you're sending money, you don't know what's happening in the background. You don't know how many banks is going through. You don't know. Since we're super early in the blockchain and crypto, specifically DeFi, you have Etherscan, you have all these block explorers where you can see all the transactions. A lot of that stuff will be obfuscated in the future. So with Liquid Agent, the user can not only onboard just utilizing their email and have a agentic wallet once they sign up with their email. This is no ordinary agentic wallet. With the agentic wallet, users are going to be able to not only be able to actually save for a purpose, it's going to be automated and they don't have to sit there looking at their account, making sure everything's copacetic. We have the yield optimizer, but likewise, like as Chris said, you don't want to just be a consumer. We want to be a producer. So one of the things that we discussed while out at the New Orleans event was how Liquid Agent and SoonPay is going to make an impact. With having the vendor spot, we had very high praise and everyone is super excited for the app to launch on the Lob Store. When going to the tech forum, we realized that their focus was on AI, which is great, and databases. But there's one thing that they said that I was like, I don't sit right with. They said it would take 20 to 30 years to either break even or become profitable. And the first thing I talked about, well, what about validators? What about these nodes utilizing this Web3 technology called blockchain to where's a map? I wish I could bring it up. I don't have it on me right now, but there's a map of the entire world showing where proof of stake validators are coming from. You had over 50% in the United States, 20% in China, Europe, all over places, and Africa was less than 0.4%. But on the flip side, on the consumer side, in Africa, specifically Nigeria, they are the highest consumers when it comes to transmitting cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. How does that make any sense? It doesn't. So when talking to government officials, meeting people, shaking their hands, as you all know, business is done in person. I wish Fuji was here to talk, but yes, we got to talk to some people. We are going to, well, let's do it in phases like Chris did in the phases, right? Phase one is obviously to have SoonPay app out and live. And the difference between SoonPay and other remittance platforms is, again, it's healthcare. You have savings with a purpose. But when you click that crypto button, likewise with Venmo and Cash App, that's going to go directly to Liquid Agent. The databases are synonymous. When the users sign up to SoonPay, they're signing up to Liquid Agent. And what did I say earlier? When they sign up with the email, they're going to have an agentic wallet. So when users are sending money, a small portion of those fees are going to be going into their savings account. Most people don't save, but utilizing our application, they're going to be saving with a purpose. That's phase number one. Phase number two is education. How are we going to be educating our users, right? Don't know if I could talk about this. Wish Fuji was here. But we will, like currently right now, Chris and I, we're not just builders. We mentors. We teach at the London Blockchain Center. We were part of cohort 3. We're teaching cohort 6, and cohort 7 starts next week. We've both been in crypto since 2017. We've seen the ups and downs of the bull and bear, different protocols being created, different protocols leaving. But the difference between what Liquid Agent is doing is we're not only embedding and integrating ourselves with traditional, because I believe it is going to be a hybrid system. It's not going to be fully centralized, fully decentralized. It has to be a cohesive ecosystem where the abstraction is away so the users can actually fully onboard into cryptocurrencies. When we first created our company, people didn't know what a node was, let alone a validator. Because we're humans, it's very difficult to use your 5 senses. But once we built a physical node, people were like, oh, it's just a computer. Correct. It is just a computer. It is just someone else's computer. But on the flip side, if you have your own computer or utilizing things that are outside of AWS, for example, that runs over 65% of all Ethereum validators, that's when you actually have ownership. We also always talk about not your keys, not your coins. It's a fully permissionless system. All that to say, what Liquid Agent is doing and what it's going to be creating and the problems it's going to solve is going to be monumental. When we launch SoonPay with Liquid Agent embedded into the banks that we are partnered with, that's going to be the pilot program. We've already had different countries already reaching out, ready to launch, ready to go. And once we can prove that this model works, and we know it will, the sky's is the limit. And I know people have been asking, and Chris alluded to this earlier, what's going to be the utility? Well, that is the utility. The utility is not just consumption. The utility is ownership. The utility is education. And the utility is mass adoption, adopting people who are not in crypto. Everyone is partnering with other different crypto companies. That's great. But where did the actual money come from? Well, the money comes from the institutions, the users, the people who are not in crypto already, right? So that's the mission, and that's what we're solving, right? Integrating with traditional finance, educating all of our users, including the bankers, and third, becoming a producer and actually saving for a purpose, which I believe is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And if Fuji just left off. Fuji, I know you're trying to join possibly with your computer. Just try to join on your phone. I can send you the link right now. Definitely would like to hear a few words from you because I know you had a lot of amazing things to say. I think I did text it to you. I'm texting it to you right now. Again, if you are on your computer and just join your phone, I would definitely love to have our audience get to know you more, hear your story, and learn more about SoonPay and the remittance side. So I just sent the link. If you can join on your phone, that'd be great. Other than that, I will go ahead and continue with what we're going to be going on with. If there are any questions, please feel free to drop it in the chat and I'll be able to answer them. I am using my phone away from my computer. Okay, great. Yeah, I mean, if you're using your phone, Fuji, you should be able to just unmute the mic and you should be able to get to go. But no problem. All good. If anything, guys, we'll definitely have a follow-up stream with Fuji because I definitely want him to tell his story because I learned a lot, especially when we're out in New Orleans and talking to a lot of Ugandans. There's stuff I didn't know about him, which is great and amazing. And the things that we're going to be doing is going to be paramount, guys. I'm super excited. But let's talk some numbers. Let's talk some numbers. Let's talk some statistics. Let's talk some facts. But before we talk about that, let's talk some updates. Update number one. We're excited to announce that SoonPay will be coming out very soon. The goal is to have it out by the end of the month. Q4 2025, I believe is on the table. I can say that. Q4 before Q1 of 2026, which is going to be amazing. So that's number one. Update number two. And all of this will be announced, guys. No worries. Liquid Agent will now be out of beta here fairly soon, also by the end of the month, by Q4 2025. And that's going to coincide with the SoonPay launch to start onboarding. Not hundreds of thousands, not millions, but hundreds of millions of people into our ecosystem. Hundreds of millions of people, guys. And with that onboarding, it's just going to make it super simple and super seamless, right? In Africa, currently, the banks can't talk to each other. There's no clearinghouse. But if you have a remittance app that is different from all the other ones, that's going to be a game changer. So if you're telling me that when I am doing transactions or sending money, I'm actually saving for a purpose, bullish, super bullish, guys. And again, just to throw some numbers and statistics out there, the current crypto market, $3-4 trillion. The traditional remittance size does that every month. The entire remittance is 100. The global remittance like 194 trillion. Crypto is so small, guys. We are so early, and I'm just super excited for what's to come in the future. You know, just seeing people like Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, where he just started with Bitcoin, and look at their company now. Chris and I being partnered with Stanford Crypto, Coinbase's initiative to educate legislators and lawmakers, and we are one of those people. People can get partnerships. This one, you can't just get. Chris and I have been grinding, guys, throughout the entire bear market, building for this time, and the time is now. And I just got a text this morning from Coinbase asking us to come fly out next week to talk about liquid agents. We will be posting that on social media, so no worries. Again, I'm giving you guys all the alpha in the stream, so thank you all for joining this. Now, when it comes to education, specifically in Africa, there's more younger people. There's going to be more younger people than older people. And they say that Africa is going to be the future, where there's going to be the most consumers. I don't want that to happen. I want Africa to be producers because it is very important. And then while I still talk, I'm actually going to look for that picture of when the graph that we showed out in Uganda of everything that we were showing, because I can talk all day, but if I believe you guys see a visualization of what I'm talking about, it is something else, guys, and it is next level. So, and I don't have the numbers on me, but if I remember correctly, what Chris was saying, you have America or the United States generating a few billion a year. China, hundreds of millions. In Africa, only millions of dollars. That is not good, guys. That is not good. Okay, I found the picture. So let me bring this up for you guys so you can kind of get a sense of what I'm talking about. Let's see here. If we're going to do, let's see here. I guess I can just share my screen. Hold on. I should be able to just throw it up on the screen. 1 second. Hold on, guys. Sorry for the delay. I'm gonna upload it. Look at this, guys. Do you see what I'm seeing right now? Now, one thing that I discussed with Vu and Chris, I was like, well, what if they're just utilizing infrastructure companies, specifically people in Africa are utilizing infrastructure companies to actually host their validators abroad? That's a possibility. So we kept doing more research and digging, and we saw there is AWS in, I believe, Cape Town, Nigeria, and Kenya. Don't know. There's 3 different locations. And then we were like, okay, what are the ISPs, the internet service providers, and what are their internet speeds? They're minimal, but they're Starlink. So again, there's no excuses for Africa not to be running these validators. Now let's pivot on to the stablecoin, guys. Chris and I went out to Washington, D.C. to talk to lawmakers about the Genius and Clarity Act. And as you can see, it's been passed. And with this newfound regulation, you're now seeing a multitude of different companies, protocols, projects, blockchains, deploying their own stablecoin backed by assets. Great. With Liquid Agent, our goal is to launch our own stablecoin and tokenize assets in Africa. Why? The whole thing I've been telling you about, guys, is mass adoption and ownership. Africa cannot be left behind, guys, and they won't be left behind. So it's a huge mission for us. We're going to do it. And I want to thank everyone from our community for joining us in this mission and our goal and our journey that we are going to be doing. I just want to give a shout out to the SoonPay team. I want to give a shout out to our PM, Tarek, Chris, the whole entire team. I just want to give a shout out to the whole entire team. For those who know, we do have more people helping with the communication and marketing. But again, guys, when you're building, actually building, you don't have time to be talking on social media. So don't think I don't care about you guys, because I truly do. You can't do this without the community. And I'm here, and I'm talking to all of you guys. But again, look at this map, guys. Numbers do not lie. This cannot happen. So again, as we deploy SoonPay, a remittance app that everyone knows, traditional finance, and integrate it with Liquid Agent that's utilizing AI and crypto and onboarding millions of people already utilizing these banks. And if they don't have banks, they can now send money to their friends and family. And once we can show that model works, everywhere else that you can see on this map, I want to see Liquid Agent on there, Product Buy Labs. And guess what? You guys are going to be part of that journey. Liquid isn't just a token. What did Chris say earlier? If you hold a certain amount of liquid, you're going to be a producer. I know some users want us to talk about rev share and burning. Guys, This is it. This is the protocol. This is the business. This is mass adoption. We have the partnerships. We have our receipts. What are you waiting for? For those who are not in the Liquid Agent ecosystem, again, beta will be out and we will be live. Sign up, use it, see how simple it is, see how easy it is. And one thing that Chris loves to say is if it's easy enough for a 6-year-old, easy enough for a 60-year-old, we got it. And we got it, guys, especially going to New Orleans and talking to people. We showed them the product. They were amazed. They were like, sign me up right now. Currently, where we are in the current crypto market ecosystem, it's all about abstraction. At the end of the day, the user wants certain things to meet their requirements or criteria. One, is the UI UX pretty? Check. Two, am I actually getting what I'm saying that I'm going to get via some type of APY or staking mechanism? Check. Three, can I onboard and send this to other people that in crypto? Check. We have all of that, guys. We have all of that. And on top of that, when you utilize the agentic wallet to automate everything for you, and then you can become a producer, not a consumer, being a validator, that's sweet, guys. That's super, super sweet. I believe we have someone else wanting to join us. Let's see here. Yeah, bro. Pull up, bro. You don't have to ask, man. Come on, pull up. We have another person coming through. He's oh man, this guy that we're gonna introduce. This dude is amazing. He Well, I don't even want to speak on it. I want him to actually introduce himself. So, yo, if you can hear me, without further ado, I want to introduce you guys to Mr. Tariq Wasim. What's up, bro? How you doing? Yo, we can't hear you, bro. We can't hear you.
Yo, what's up? Can you hear me?
Sheesh, we can hear you, man. What's up, man? How you doing?
Sheesh. Yo, I'm good. I'm good. I heard you were just talking about I didn't mean to cut you off, but happy to be here. If you want, I can talk about what I do. I think this is the first time I've been on these spaces.
Now, before you talk about what you do, give the people the introduction. Who are you? What you built? What you've done? And then talk about what you're doing.
Gotcha. Okay. Yo, hey, what's up, guys? You've probably seen me all up in the Telegram. We recently dropped a video of me doing an event at the Atlanta Blockchain Center, actually, where we were talking and demoing the product to users in person. Just some more information about me. So my name is Tariq Wasim. I actually am the co-founder of the Atlanta Blockchain Center. This project, it was a project of mine that I started thinking about in my senior year of college back in 2021. And in 2022, alongside Marlon Williams, we founded the Atlanta Blockchain Center. And it was always with the goal of having an in-person space where you can actually show up in person and build amongst founders, other entrepreneurs, other hobbyists. Basically, if you walk into that building, the only thing we're going to be talking about is blockchain and crypto. And that's what I always wanted. I was able to make that happen at my university because I used to run the blockchain club there. And it just became annoying, like walking into these rooms and being like, yeah. So we wanted people to have a home. And as a result of that, Liquid Agent and the team at Project Pi was able to find that home and make this happen. And here we are today. So it worked. I also am very deep into DeFi. So it makes me perfect to work on this product because we are very DeFi oriented, given that we're trying to bridge into TradeFi. So when I design products, I design them with kind of what has been done over time in the DeFi scene, but how to make it actually look clean and simple. Because just like Van said, we're targeting people who are new to crypto, who are somewhat new to the banking system, just because they haven't really gotten that education to know what it's all about. So I want to be able to pack in all of the DeFi features that we as DGens enjoy, almost take for granted, and simplify it enough for someone in Africa who is currently getting screwed over by their bank can understand and onboard very easily. So those of you in the beta, in which, like we said, will be opening up to the public very soon. I can't wait for you guys to try it. You'll notice that it's so simple. Like, it's almost too simple to where, um, I'm going to be doing demos of the product. It's actually built in now to our social media strategy, which I'll actually talk about next, where I'll be demoing the product and giving you guys an inside look about what goes on inside my head when I'm thinking about how you're going to use it. That's a large part of my job. So just, going back to, one of the coolest features that I demoed recently was where you could earn yield on your USDC. Like, I do know that earning yield on USDC is not really a bull market activity, but especially during the bear and for savings, it can be really beneficial. But the thing about it is it's agentic. So there's an agent managing your funds for you and always making sure you get the best yield. But the user doesn't really need to know that. They just need to know that I'm getting the highest yield. So you'll see when it comes out that it's like, it shows you what yield you're getting, it's the highest, and it's very simple to deposit. So everything is kind of centered around that ideology of like, we are experienced enough to build out these very complex systems, but we do keep in mind that our users don't really need to know that. They just need to know it works and they're getting the value that they want out of it. So yeah, I'm working on the product, and also do want to tell you guys about, give you some update on marketing, since that's very important. Alongside, we've got an amazing guy. He goes by Sir Slurp. Shout out to Sir Slurp. Bit of a weird name, but that's his name. You know how we do in crypto. We got all these aliases, but alongside Sir Slurp, marketing is completely getting like revamped. As you've noticed this week or even last week, we started a strategy that we have formulated for the entire month. Expect to see like more articles, more educational articles, more threads, more consistent spaces. So spaces like this, expect one every month. And then, like I said, I'm coming out with a product demo series where I'll give you guys an inside look into building products. We're all builders. So that's really exciting. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
Yo, shout out, put hundreds, put fire emojis in the chat for Tarek, man. This dude is next level. Super excited to have him on the team. I'm super excited for our community to see the demos. But not only that, trying the product out live, which is amazing. We've been getting great feedback from our beta users. They've been giving us great insights of what could be improved, what they do and don't like. But likewise, going outside of the crypto and asking normies, what do you think about this? So if my sister can use it, if my grandpa can use it, if people don't know anything about crypto can use it, and we're abstracting away everything, knowing, one, it's safe and secure, 3, has a beautiful UI and UX, and 4, it's actually working and doing what it needs to do, and it's going to be integrated with TradFi and banks outside the country onboarding hundreds of millions of people with education. I don't know what's bullish, guys, because that's the most bullish thing to me I've ever heard in my entire life. And 5, you're going to be a producer, not just a consumer. So again, I'm super excited for what's to come. And I know a lot of people have been asking about what's number 9 on the roadmap. Don't worry, guys, it's coming. And when it comes, you're going to be happy that you're part of the ecosystem. So any last words, Mark, before we end this, man?
Nah, just like don't sleep, guys. Like, have you ever seen a Docs team like this? I don't know. We got Giga Chad, Van. You saw the Maestro. Man, you guys got blessed by the Maestro. This is a crazy space going on. But yeah, like Van said, if you're not, we're onboarding hundreds of thousands of people who don't take crypto for granted. Like, crypto is actually there. Like, this is going to change their lives. I would say somebody who grew up in America, kind of crypto was always like a novelty. It was kind of like something that, I had the freedom to be passionate about, like the passionate. Yeah. Basically what I'm trying to say is it's not as impactful for me as it is for people who are underserved in underserved communities, unbanked. For them, it's life-changing. Like, I'll agree, crypto in some ways does change your life. It changes the way you think. I think for some people, they can't grasp crypto. But for people like us, you think it a certain type of way, it makes sense. So once we bridge, a lot of people will. We can't wait to hear you guys' feedback. The team is working very hard, very diligent. We're constantly communicating. That's probably why you don't see us much in the main Telegram. It's just in the kitchen. That's basically all I gotta say. But yeah, I'd like to leave you guys with that. I can't wait to show you what I've been working on, and yeah, kind of want to get you guys more into my process, and then yeah, keep an eye out on the socials because it's getting an upgrade. It's getting a huge upgrade. So yeah, thanks, guys.
And one last thing too, I forgot to mention, for those who have been following on our Telegram, we show the product to a CPA, licensed CPA who has a firm who is willing to partner with us. Again, I guess for those who don't know, I used to be a data engineer at Intuit, MailChimp. They own Credit Karma, TurboTax, etc. But like Chris talked about earlier, it was initially an internal tool for us to do things, but now we are not only encapsulating different industries and different verticals. What's most important is also tracking your inflows and outflows, your profit and loss, but having a beautiful PDF monthly, quarterly, yearly of everything, making your CPA's life so much easier and your life too. This is just the beginning. I want to say thank you, everyone, for joining the stream. As Tarek alluded, we'll at least have minimum once a month, but as time progresses, as the market progresses, as a product progresses, definitely want to have more guest speakers and just keep educating our users on what the mission is, what the goal is, what we're doing. And yeah, that's it. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining the stream. You guys have a good rest of your day and keep moving forward.
See you guys.